Alright, all you streetlight crusaders, and I guess a couple of you wrestling fans who are still up for the night, welcome back to Music Village. A line that I thought we would only use for the Tuesday night special, but seeing the fact that we're under some special circumstances for Music Village for this week, I just won't crack out that line for this show too. But besides cracking out special lines, folks, for certain shows that takes place near midnight or after, depending on what side of the coast you live on, I think it's time for us to talk about what's gonna happen for this year's 33 1/3 edition of Summerslam from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, aka the Thunderdome. Where the hell did that thunder sound effect come from? Or is it thundering outside? Whatever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the first match we do believe is gonna kick off this year's SummerSlam. It's gonna be none other than Apollo Crews going one-on-one against MVP for the United States Championship. And the only reason this match is going down is because MVP, who believed that flickering lights and a whole bunch of technical difficulties threw him off his game, and doesn't believe the fact that Apollo Crews throwing him up in the air and power bombing him back down to earth like if he was nothing was the reason why he lost the championship, would call out Apollo's manhood, say he doesn't care about his kids, and then would try to beat him down each and every single week, physically and mentally, to try to get that United States Championship right back around his waist. And with all of that said, who do I believe is gonna go home with the United States gold that's now in the possession of Apollo Crews? Apollo Crews. Yeah, definitely say Apollo Crews is gonna win because, yeah, I don't think MVP can do it on his own. And I got a feeling Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, despite them being banned from ringside, is still gonna get involved, and MVP is still gonna lose. Mark my words, folks. And the next match to take place on this SummerSlam match card would see none other than the Street Profits going one-on-one against Andrade Cien Almas and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And the reason why this match went down is because, well, Andrade and Angel Garza won a #1 contenders match, then would go on to try to taunt the Street Profits all the way to SummerSlam until Zelina Vega tried to take it to the next level by poisoning Montez Ford and trying to enable the action and abilities of the Street Profits, only for the EST of NXT Bianca Belair to get involved, play a makeshift version of Sherlock Holmes, and for it to find out that Zelina Vega was the one who poisoned him, and to make things personal between the Street Profits and Andrade and Angel Garza along with Zelina Vega. So with it now being personal, who do I think is going to win this match? I don't know. By hook or by crook, I do believe Andrade and Angel is going to win this match, and somehow Bianca Belair, with her help, is still going to make this an unfair fight for the Street Profits that night, and yeah, they're still going to lose the belts. Granted, they may get the belts back at Payback or another pay-per-view down the line, but as of right now, yeah, I do believe it's Andrade's and Angel's night to prove that they're truly a tag team by winning those belts. I was about to say straps, but no, they're belts. And the next match to take place on this said card is a little bit of a SummerSlam double feature, and your eyes are not deceiving you when you see it, folks, because Asuka will be going one-on-one against Bayley and Sasha Banks in separate matches for not only the Raw, but the SmackDown Women's Championships. And the only reason this match is going down, folks, is because after Asuka got cheated out of the Women's Championship of Raw, Bayley would step up to the plate on behalf of Sasha Banks to try to prevent her from getting the championship shot, only for Asuka to overcome those odds with righteous fury, and then would see Asuka going into the Battle Royal that took place on SmackDown, winning that, and then going on to fight for the SmackDown Women's Championship along with it. So with both of those titles on the line against the same person who is highly dangerous no matter how much WWE tries to song and dance her. Who do I think is going to win this match? One way or another, I got a feeling Asuka's going home with one of those championships, and I got a feeling it's going to be Bayley's over Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks is going to do everything to try to keep that championship around her waist and somehow succeed, but Bayley, with her championship reign reaching close to a full-on year, yep, the pressure is really starting to get to her, and I got a feeling she's finally going to crack like a hard-boiled egg at Summerslam for this year when that championship is on the line. So yeah, Asuka's gonna win the SmackDown Women's Championship and go right over to the land of opportunity of SmackDown with that belt. And the next match to take place on this card for SummerSlam would see none other than Mandy Rose going one-on-one against Sonya Deville in a hair versus hair match. And this match, which got personal somewhere around Valentine's Day and would lead all the way to WrestleMania, finding out that her friend Sonya Deville was the one who tried to sabotage the date of Mandy Rose when she tried to go out with Otis, and said that she did it for her own good, only for her to go on just a crazy rage trying to take out Mandy Rose because she looked prettier than her, she was better than her, but not better inside of the ring, and tried to prove it at every moment's notice by slamming her into stairs, beating her up in the ring, and even outside of the ring backstage by cutting off her beautiful locks. And now, it would get so personal, we would have our first ever hair versus hair match for the women in well over 16 years. And for those who are wondering out there when the last hair versus hair match for women would take place, it would take place on the grandest stage of them all in Madison Square Garden at WrestleMania 20, where Victoria would fight against Molly Holly for the Women's Championship in a hair versus hair match. And with those stats out of the way, folks, who do I think is going to win this match? I got a feeling Mandy Rose is going to go home with the win, and Sonya Deville is going to go home bald and most likely wearing one of Molly Holly's wigs after the fact. And I got a feeling that's just going to make her even more crazier than she already is. And I got a feeling she may get stabbed with scissors. And she meaning Mandy Rose. So, yeah, Mandy, I recommend you go to Raw after this match if you win. Just saying. And the next match to take place on this said card would be for the Universal Studios of Orlando, Florida's championships, which would see none other than the Fiend Bray Wyatt going one-on-one against the Quilted Quicker Picker Upper Braun Strowman for the said championship we mentioned earlier. I know a couple of you out there are saying I'm being extremely silly with the whole Braun Strowman thing, but come on. The only reason this match is going down is because Braun Strowman, who ended up losing a swamp fight that didn't really take place inside of the swamp itself, where they spend time talking to each other and a whole bunch of Twilight Zone things happening, would see the Fiend coming back out of his slumber after the match and would see Braun Strowman doing everything in his power to try to take the Fiend out and, to quote him, eat his entrails afterwards, with Braun Strowman finally losing his humanity to become the monster that he was truly meant to be, including taking out Alexa Bliss during the whole process. And with all of that said, during this match that I got a feeling it's going to have more silly things in it than necessary, who do I think is going to win? The Fiend. Yep, I do believe the Fiend is going to come back and take his championship on the night he debuted. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The first match the Fiend had in his career was against Finn Balor last year, and he won that with little to no problem. So I got a feeling at SummerSlam for this year, he's taking home that blue gold known as the Universal Studios of Orlando, Florida's championship. And the main event that I got a feeling is gonna be superseded by Braun Strowman and The Fiend is gonna be between none other than Drew McIntyre going one-on-one against the legend killer himself, Randy Orton, for the WWE Championship. And the only reason this match is going down, folks, is because Randy Orton, after destroying Edge, Christian, and the Big Show with their own set of punt kicks, decided that he wanted to become champion again and wanted to do so by defeating Drew McIntyre. And would say you would never see it coming, which would be the tagline for SummerSlam, which would make absolutely no sense because SummerSlam does not need a tagline whatsoever besides it being the biggest party of the summer. But I digress. Who do I think is going to win this match with Randy Orton along the way on this championship journey, taking out not only his mentor Ric Flair, but Shawn Michaels as well, and even taking out Drew McIntyre in a multitude of occasions with RKOs aplenty? I'm giving it to Drew McIntyre because I got a feeling the Scottish Terminator is going to terminate the legend of Randy Orton at this pay-per-view, despite Randy Orton's new legend killer status that he decided to pick up back from his 2004/2005, maybe 7-year career. Yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen. A Claymore to the face, and that's the end for Randy Orton. Next challenger, please. Exactly what I think is gonna happen. And oh, according to the Maestro, we're missing one card match from this card, which would see none other than Dominic Mysterio with Rey Mysterio in tow, going up against Seth Rollins with his partner Murphy in tow in a street fight. Now, the only reason this match is going down, folks, is because after Rey Mysterio was made a sacrifice after being put on the stairs and even getting his eye gouged out at Extreme Rules, Dominic Mysterio was looking for some form of revenge on Seth Rollins after the words he said the night after his father's eye got gouged out, which he said, if you're looking for somebody to guide you, look no further, which opened up a whole can of worms and whoop ass on Seth Rollins from Dominic Mysterio with a kendo stick that would see Dominic Mysterio getting kendoed the week before, and then the week following seeing Dominic and Rey together in a kendo stick party like no other for Seth Rollins and for the disciple Murphy, who was at ringside as well. So, with all of that said, and with this being the first SummerSlam that Dominic Mysterio was a part of in well over 15 years, who do I think is going to win this match? You know, as much as I want to say Dominic is going to put on one hell of a show, and I got a feeling this match right here is going to be match of the night, so yeah, I'm going to have to side with Seth Rollins. As much as my heart says that Dominic is going to win this match, my brain is telling me that Seth Rollins is somehow going to pull off something so devious, it's going to get Dominic off his game, and for Seth Rollins to pick up the win with a curb stomp, taking him out and finally taking out the Mysterio name once and for all. I mean, granted, it would be great if Dominic would win his first match, but I got a feeling he's gonna get some form of payback at Payback that next following week. Who knows? Anything can happen in the WWE. All these matches we said could be absolutely wrong in the opposite direction. But like we say all the time at the end of all of these match cards, good luck, don't get hurt, and put on one hell of a show inside of a movie like Dome that none of us will ever, and I do mean ever, forget. And with that said, folks, we might as well head back into this music while we go grab a glass of water. And when we return, we'll be back with the NXT version of their TakeOver 30 pay-per-view match card review right after this. So don't fall asleep just yet, folks, and stay tuned.